The Art and Industry of Business and Living podcast, discussing conscious choices around business, money, life and living, and creating a greater future for you and the planet. Hi everybody, welcome to the Art and Industry of Business and Living, and we are living. We're actually in Mauritius at the moment, so if you don't know where it is, I suggest you get a map out. It's maybe you've seen that animated movie Madagascar with all the African animals in it. Well, we're not far from there. And it's funny because a friend of mine and someone we work with said to me, "Where are you going, Simone? It's like a dot. It's like, are you going to be okay? Is it going to sink?" It's like, it's bigger than you think, but it's beautiful. It's a French, it's the Republic of Mauritius. It's actually part of the Commonwealth, but one of the main languages they speak is French, Creole, English, etc. And we've just done a Choice Possibilities class here, which was awesome. And I am lucky enough today to have two people that I work with and who I love and adore, Miss Sarah Watt and Miss Francesca Fiorentini. So welcome.
Thank you, Simone. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Simone, and thank you, Sarah, for being in my life and having me in this.
So thank you, Sarah, for being in your life, but not me. Just thank you for me for doing the podcast. I get it. No, I'm just kidding. So, well, interesting enough. I asked them if they would do a podcast with me today before we all, head off Mauritius. And the topic I was asking if we could talk about is contribution, because one of the things that I have noticed is the amount of amazing people that I do have in my life that are a major contribution. And I keep asking for more people to show up in my life who are kind, who have my back, and actually desire to head where I would like to go, which is definitely to create way more consciousness on planet Earth. And, when we get to travel to these places as well, the other day we were just outside chatting, etc. And then I was looking around and I was like, gosh, these two women are such a contribution to my life in so many ways, whether it's like working on a project and moving forward with that, or just the space that they be for me, like coming here to do the COP, etc. So what I get is that contribution is so much about not expecting anything in return either. You literally desire to contribute because you desire to contribute. So let me start with you guys too. It's like, Sarah, how do you see contribution, and what comes up for you when we start talking about being a contribution or receiving contribution, both ways?
Yeah. Well, for me, what comes up is just the fact that it was never something that was taught to me growing up. Like until I started attending Access classes and using the tools of Access, contribution to me was like, you give, you receive, like you give, you take, you do this, I do this, like this whole tally system almost is what I grew up with in every way possible, really, right down to how I treated my body. You work out for this long, you're going to do this. If you eat this, you're going to get that. Whereas like contribution now I'm starting to learn, and I'm so grateful to be here in the Mauritius as well, because the land that's here has taught me a whole new level of what contribution can be. But for me, it's learning that actually none of that's really true if you don't desire it to be, that really you can contribute to everything and everyone in a way that will create greater if you're willing to get out of the mindset that you ever require something in return for your contribution, and really just go with what you desire to create in the world and what makes the world more of the energy and more of the place that you desire to live in. And that includes everything: nature, people, your body. So I'm still learning. I feel like I'm a contribution rookie in some ways.
But what if we all were? I was actually listening to some audio this morning with Gary and Dane and Brendan and myself talking, and I was looking at the energy of it. And Gary Douglas, who's the founder of Access Consciousness, he continuously desires to contribute to people and empower them to be everything that they can be, without a point of view if you ever acknowledge or recognize the greatness of him. He always desires you to see the greatness of you. And I was lying on the beach, as one does in Mauritius, asking questions of what is that? And it's like, what if I could be more of that as well? That it's this continuous empowerment to others to be the greatest capacity that they can truly be.
Yeah. I love what you just said and what you say, Sarah. How I learned what contribution was, it was like seeing and recognizing what other people will require or will need or will have been like the right things for them. and then give it to them. But then actually it's not contribution, it's choosing what they will need for their life or for their job, anything, right, for their body. Being in a contribution, you mentioned Gary, and I had really this, wow, because I love that man so much as well for the contribution he has been, to acknowledge me, and I see how he acknowledged other people, but that's true, like a silent being that inviting you to look at, you could be this, you could choose that, but without any point of view, if you ever chose it, and if you ever acknowledge it was him inviting you to that. And that's actually what I'm learning every day, as Sarah say. I'm a newbies as well, every day, new things. Because it's like, it's such a joy for me being something for someone else, without even expecting anything. But then seeing the change in people, seeing the change in our business, in our work, in the project, just being willing to not have any point of view, to have anything in return, as we said, but also no expectation at all. You know what I mean? Like, I for example, have this 22 years, she's not anymore a kid, she's a woman, you know, having her own life. But there's been a moment that I really chose a few months ago. I will not have any point of view anymore of what she will choose, but I will always be here for her, whatever she requires. Also silence, and you know what? Everything changed.
Yeah.
Everything changed so dynamically, and
Well, I get, it's interesting too, because you are such a gifting person too, Francesca, and what I would like people to get to though with contribution is you must be in question, because you've also got to ask, can this person receive what it is I'd like to contribute? Do they desire to receive what I would like to contribute? So contribution, you know, has no definition. It has no place of a conclusion, because it will only create a limitation, rather than what if contribution was being in constant question.
Yep.
And looks nothing like you think it's going to look like or it should look like.
And if every part of it also included you in the computation, where what Francesca was saying and what I learned so well from a young age was to fulfill the needs of others, because that's easy. It's easy to know what other people require and then to be able to do that. And kind of, it doesn't even necessarily mean you always keep people happy, but it's this place that we go to where it's so easy to go to that place. Contribution is where you're including yourself completely in the computation as well, and it becomes this invitation to then also include everyone around you in this place where no one's needs are being fulfilled and everyone's being considered. Everyone's in that equation of what's going on. And sometimes it's not always, contribution's not always la la la, happy rainbows. Like sometimes you need to contribute something that's maybe a little tough.
Yeah. Well, when you say that, I love that you said that, like it's not about fulfilling everyone's needs, because that's almost like, that's so this reality.
Exactly.
Like if I think of Christmas Day forever, like growing up, it's like Christmas Day was not like, yay, let's have a beautiful, fun, contributory day. It was like, how do we make sure that mum doesn't get angry, and how do we make sure that everyone goes to fulfilling everybody's needs? And you don't even really know what those needs are, but you're always on the, you know, the like walking on eggshells going, God, I hope I just did the right thing on Christmas Day. And I remember when I was actually old enough to start drinking, I was like, God, that makes it way easier on Christmas Day, rather than just being this like 15-year-old kid going, oh my God, I know I'm about to get in trouble, from opening up a Christmas present early, from, you know, starting the meal too early, from not, you know, not wanting dessert, or not, you know, there was always this constant place of needs. So if that is you, and that is a situation that you are currently living in, what if you could actually ask questions and be in the question of, you know, what would it be like today if you were being and receiving contribution? And it's not like, you know, as Sarah explained, it's really not done in this reality. It's something that is beyond this reality. So you're willing to function beyond this reality.
And there's such a non-linearity to it as well. Like if you guys are new and you're new to Access and the way these tools kind of work, and how you can use them if you choose to, like to say that to someone, like wake up in the morning and ask questions around what energy can I be to be that contributive energy, and to start asking questions. But please, like if that's the one thing you start to do to change these things, it sounds easy, and it kind of is, but it kind of has moments when it's tough too. But please just start asking questions every moment that you have available. Or if that sticky energy comes up and you're like, I'm about to make a choice, am I choosing this just to fulfill this person's need or to go with the easy way? Ask, like, am I a contribution right now? What would it look like to be a contribution to myself and everyone else? And see what shows up and what changes as well.
That is so true, because so many times people think being a contribution is like being in someone's space. Like, you know, I was just talking the other day in the COP class and about being in a relationship. So many women think if their man is, you know, in a funk or needs some space, they think, oh, I better, you know, try and fulfill his needs. And he doesn't even know what his needs are. He just needs space, you know. And you're trying to go, hey, what can I do? What can I, you know, can I get this? What's up? What can I fix? This whole thing, rather than just be like, okay, greatest contribution right now is to give somebody space. So everywhere that you haven't acknowledged that sometimes the greatest contribution is actually to give somebody space, and also to give yourself space.
Yeah, that one.
Where you destroy and uncreate it.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. It's like you guys and a couple of other friends of ours went out and saw dolphins and whales yesterday. And if you look at the whole contributory energy, it's like all of you, the way you came back and, you know, either text me or spoke about it, there was this massive contribution with the dolphins, with the ocean, with the whales, etc. And then, you know, one of our friends was like, hey, I can try and organise for you to go the next day. And I said, it's okay, I don't have FOMO, like fear of missing out. I was like, I needed the space too. Like that was the contribution that I had to give myself, was to spend yesterday on my own without having to do something. So it's like, how many times do you, you know, try and fill in the space with something because everybody else is going to this party or everybody else is doing this, so you attempt to do that rather than ask, okay, if I was contributing to myself today,
what would I choose?
What would I choose? Yeah. And everything at that is times a gazillion, we destroy and uncreate it.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And if you don't already know about the clearing statement, you can go check it out at theclearingstatement.com, and our wonderful friend Dr. Dane here gives you a brilliant explanation about it all. Yes.
And also, like as Sarah was saying, if you are new, and if you are not even new, because it's just
I mean we're not new at all, and we feel new.
It's really like, I remember when at my earliest day when I started knowing the access tools, I came across to something that was between fulfill the needs and contributing, because how much when we fulfill the needs is also being using superiority on others, right? Who are you to know what people need? That's the thing. And so I had this little, you know, play for me, also walking in the street and see an old lady that maybe would need, from my point of view, to carry her bags. Asking the question to myself first, will this person receive if if I offer my help? And every time actually I got a no, I asked for, the person will say, no, I don't need you, and run away from me. So that was the play for me to, those tools actually works. So if you really like, try with the little things, could be your husband, could be your daughter, could be your mom, your friends, really like, it's so you start getting out of the need, but really like the space that Simone and Sarah was talking about before. And I know we're talking about space. What is space? For me, space, it's really that state of peace. It's a state of peace and joy. Because when I am that energy of being a contribution for someone else without having a point of view, without forcing, I'm receiving so much more from them and from all around me. So that.
And to me, that sense of space also has infinite choice.
Good, that's great.
Because you have that space and there's just so much choice available. I mean, it's, you know, if you think it in the workplace and you think, I'm getting a coffee, I'll get somebody else a coffee, that's a contribution. Maybe it's not. It's like, you know, I like to do things a lot myself because I like the movement of going and actually doing something or creating something. So it is really about being in that constant state of question, as we've been saying, and also looking at the receiving aspect of it as well. It's like, how much, you know, contribution are you willing to receive? Or, you know, as Sarah was saying right at the beginning, do you have some sort of scorecard? It's like, you know, if I receive from this person, then that's a tally. That means I'm going to owe this. So everywhere that you've decided you owe for the contribution that you've received. Wow, will you destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all names, shorts, boys and beyond. And what needs are you making more real than your ability to create, contribute and receive? And everything at that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all names, shorts, boys and beyonds.
Wow. And it's really all connecting with the receiving a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's really, and also the willingness to ask for contribution.
Yeah.
The amount of time I have something going on and I want to change it and I cannot change it by myself. I need to be willing to ask for a contribution to friends of mine. I text you, Simone, and Sarah, or anyone else, like, and also just asking for that. Who can contribute? Who and what can contribute to me in this moment? It opens up.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
No, I'm laughing because last night, like my whole day yesterday was a very interesting day. A lot of changes for myself and a lot of acknowledgement of different things from everywhere, from the whole entire planet. And Mauritius definitely contributed to me as well. More so than I've ever actually been willing to receive from the earth. It was really interesting. So, and I'm asking to receive that more from everywhere I go. But it was interesting because you text me, Francesca, and were like, do you want to go to dinner? And I was like, no thanks. Like, do you want to have your bars? And I went, I don't know. And then I went, I know you had meetings, and I went, do you just have a moment to just come and have a drink with me? And it was like 30 minutes of have a gin and tonic and just chat for 30 minutes, and then it was like bye, and then Sarah ran downstairs and gave me a hug and a kiss and went, anything I can contribute, and then I lay in bed and watched Netflix. It was great. And it's like knowing the moment and also for how long. Like it was really cool, just for 30 minutes, drink a G&T with a friend,
Fixes everything.
have a chat, and then move on. And I was even going to meet with another friend and run bars, and I texted him and went, I think I'm just going to lie in bed and watch Netflix, because that was also a contribution to me. So it's recognizing that there is no right choice for who and what is a contribution. It's like each and every single moment is different. And if you're willing to receive and willing to ask questions, you'll know when to contribute, and you'll also know when and who and what and where to receive from as well.
And do you guys get as well, the more you're willing to be that contribution for yourself, the more it opens up a space for other people to contribute to you as well? I feel like there's something there with, you were saying yesterday where you had a day where you had more contribution from the earth you've ever had, and you chose not to come on the expedition on the boat. But I had a very similar experience as well. I was out on the boat and I had a day of like, wow, this is the most contribution I've ever perceived the earth, and being willing to receive even maybe from the earth too. So I also get there's this place where we're willing to choose and be it for ourselves, this level of contribution to what we desire, that it really just starts to open everything up and be an invitation for everyone else.
Yes. And yesterday I spoke to Brendan, your brother, and we were both talking because it was like, you received that from that. I needed to be around no people. Yep. I needed to not have that.
Yep.
And a requirement and a request of myself. And I was saying to Brendan, I would like to have that place where I'm totally at peace with being on my own. Because then I can receive from others in a really different way. And it was sort of like, I don't dislike myself. I don't go, oh no, you again. Obviously, I wake up every day with me. And I get there's something else available with what I can contribute to myself and what I can receive, with and as myself. So I'm asking, what is that? What can I choose? What reality can I choose? And what can I actualize? Because I get that and this is one thing I'm looking at too, is how many things have you already chosen? They just haven't actualized yet. So everything that we've already chosen, all the different realities and all the different choices that are available that we've chosen, they just haven't shown up yet. Can we ask them to physically actualize?
Yes.
Like now, today.
Yes. We're ready.
Everything it doesn't allow that to show up, destroy and uncreate it.
Yes.
All right, and all good and bad, pock and pot, all names, shorts, boys and beyonds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So what choices are we avoiding that you have the courage to choose, but you're avoiding choosing them? And everything at that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all names, shorts, boys and beyonds. And what if you never avoided contribution again? no matter how vulnerable you have to get.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Everything at that is times a gazillion, right? Non good and bad,
Yes.
pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
And how many people aren't, you talking about you being that space of being really, truly willing to be by yourself, like for whatever period of time. Like, again, we're never taught that is well, it's a huge contribution, and it's something I'm learning it's something I really enjoy as well, but I've always made myself wrong for that. Like, if there's other people and they're socializing, you should socialize. And yeah, like, I wonder, the vulnerability thing comes up as well, like the sheer way that this reality tells us not to do that really it's a weakness in a way to want to be by yourself, like you're antisocial or blah blah blah. But for me, there's such a strength in that. For me, it's this place where if you're willing to truly be by yourself, not necessarily even in a physical sense, like there could be someone in the next room or the next apartment over or something like that, there's always someone nearby, but to have that sense of self where it's like you could choose to be 10 meters from a person or 10 miles from a person and always have that space of being you.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Gary Douglas not long ago, and he was asking about what does being in a relationship validate? And what he said was it validates you being in this reality.
Yeah.
And it's like, but any sort of relationship,
Yeah.
like like take yourself off to the movies. Do you have to find a friend to do it with, or you can choose to be with a friend because it's fun, or you can definitely choose to go on your own because that's fun too.
Yeah.
So what if there was constant choice and it wasn't a need and a requirement to validate you being in this reality? Because what if we could ask to actually create beyond this reality? That's what I'm asking for, no matter what it takes and no matter what it looks like.
Me too. And also the fact that, probably a lot of you guys that are listening to that, how many times you've been perceiving or feeling that you were lonely. What if you cannot be lonely?
No.
It's just your point of view that makes that. Because what you were just saying, Simone, also go to the cinema. How much fun can you go and watch a movie just by yourself?
Yeah.
Or, I remember a couple of months ago, I spent one night in Rome by myself after a long tour of classes at PM, and I never enjoyed as much as that day to really work on my things, going down, have dinner and lunch by myself, reading a book, going to a park by myself, and I wasn't alone.
I remember you spoke to me just after that, and you were like this exuberant expression of joy because you were just like, oh my gosh, I had so much fun on my own.
Yeah. And I was receiving from everyone because everyone was contributing to me, and I know the knowing that I could reach to any of my friends, and for any time. So that's actually the space of receiving and being the contribution, that there is no distance, there is no time. For example, my dad is no more alive, but he's still contributing to me.
Yeah.
It's just this constant, I don't even know how, like now I'm like a bit of a tears in my eyes, but that's true. Like what have we defined as limitation, right? Or for time, barriers, language barriers. If you look at kids, that's what I think I love the most. They don't speak the same language. They don't even know. But as soon as they meet,
they're like, hey,
let's play.
Universal language of just happiness and joy. They don't need to talk about it. They're like just often chasing and running and playing and
Yeah.
I love that.
It's so true.
Cool. So, is there anything else you guys want to add to this? It's like you have classes coming up. This is coming out in mid-April.
I would just say jump onto the Access Consciousness website. If you guys have done, like we were saying, a lot of access, a little bit of access, from what I've gained from this, my personal experience is every time I ask for more is presented
More shows
to me.
up.
Yeah, and I get to choose more and be more, and so just keep going
and sometimes it's
fun.
very, 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 very uncomfortable, but always turns out greater and better and more awesome.
Exactly.
More joyful.
Exactly. More joy. Bring it on. So if you like this podcast, please give it a 5-star rating, tell your friends, etc. And go, as Sarah said, check out accessconsciousness.com. Get your bars run.
Yes.
And you can check out Francesca Fiorentini and Sarah Watt and myself, Simone Milasas. We're all facilitators on accessconsciousness.com and also on accessjoyofbusiness.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go change your business. Go change your money flows and do a Joy Business class and have way too much fun. All right, thank you so much, ladies, for joining me here on this. And thank you for being a huge contribution, because you guys really are. Like I was saying, thank you so much for being here. It's just your energy being here whilst traveling around and doing these classes is a major contribution that you can't define. It's just a constant growth of a different energy, which I'm really grateful for.
And with you, it's such a pleasure and such ease to be a contribution. Thank you so much, Simone.
Thank you. All right. See you next time, everybody.